Hey you guys, Jess with Cotech time, and as promised I am going to show you how I made the cup that has the black flag that turns into the hand. Some pre-work that I did, I cut out my template. I'm using a slim straight 20 ounce for this cup, so my flag image is sized to 9.18 wide by 6.39 high. I won't be using the entire flag. Obviously, I will be cutting off a portion of it. And this symbol out here is where I put on the bottom of the tumbler. This is a Cricut Premium vinyl. I know some folks aren't a huge fan of Cricut vinyl. This one has like some shimmer to it, so it's what gives it that like almost glittered look, but not quite. And it is a permanent vinyl. So I'm going to turn some light on so I can see. Or, let's see, is this guy plugged in? Let's see. Don't want to make it too bright in here. I don't remember. Oh, no, I think my big light's going to work better on this. This is some very thick permanent vinyl. So I have a very bright light above me that's going to help me see this image. So we are just going to focus you guys down, and I'm going to go through and just weed out this image. As I mentioned, I prefer to have my decals kind of ready so that that portion of the cup is good to go. This being a permanent vinyl, it is sticky. And I do go through as I'm weeding, and I pull out the items that are not going to stay in the image as I go. And I just stick them on the actual bottom here, the sticky part, just to try and keep it clean. For this one, I used Cricut's textured metal setting. I did not mess with the pressure at all, and it pulls really nice. It cuts it really nice. So their textured metal vinyl, whether it be this one or the actual textured metal vinyl, that's nice vinyl, I think. I've enjoyed using it. I think that it holds up really well. So personal preference on my end. If you are already familiar with pulling decals and weeding, you can obviously fast forward. As you guys know, I usually do not speed portions of videos up very often. So I'm not a fan of the editing portion of things, right? But the nice thing is that as you go through, you just kind of weed as you go. One less thing once your whole image is done and pulled. And this gives you something sticky to put items to if you pull it as you go. Today's been a pretty exciting day. You see that star go fly? I launched my website, and I got my first sale. So I am extremely excited about that. My website, if you are interested in purchasing anything that I make, I have a ton of ready to sells. As you guys know, majority of what I do is ready to sell. And that website is customsbycotech.com. The distressed flag, I've had it for a very long time. I've done a ton of different flag cups, so I can't even tell you where I got it from at this point. I'm sure it was something off of Etsy, and with how many sellers there are on Etsy, you can for sure probably find this on there, no problems. So you can see I'm just going to keep on pulling. I've gotten this whole area completely weeded out, and this stuff is, like I said, it's sticky, so what? Okay, so my camera stopped recording, and I just realized it. If you've watched any of my videos on doing unicorn spit, basically that's the part that where it kind of cut off at. So I've got my image completely weeded out. I'm so sorry, you guys. I have no idea what happened and I didn't catch it. Stop recording. So basically, I use white, gray, and black. This is Midnight Blackness, Weathered Daydream, and White Ninja. I put down my plastic wrap, and then I put over that a piece of wax paper. So that portion, I'm so sorry, got cut off while I was working on this, and I did not know. No, it is what it is. You roll the cup, just like I've done in previous videos. I will show you the two that I finished. Okay, so black base, I rolled the cup with those three colors, white, gray, and black. You can see they're still wet. They turn like the matte finish, so this one has a few matte spots when they're completely dry. You guys, I'm so sorry. So if you've seen me do unicorn spit before, then you've already kind of seen how I do this. Go back and watch if you've missed it. If you watch my Sunset Lake Cup, Sunset Dot Cup, anything like that, I do show. It's the same thing. I just kind of put this stuff everywhere and roll it. So I'm so sorry. I wish I would have caught that. So both of those cups are going to turn matte finish, and I use one coat of just a clear sealant over them, and then I'm going to put them under epoxy. Now, my image, which I cut out videotaping, but you know, is what it is. I cut anything that's white off, and then I go through and I cut this guy out, because this is what is going to be on the cup and kind of wrap around. That's going to give that hand pull. So both of these will get laid down after I get my first coat of epoxy. I'm sorry, you guys. I wish I would have caught that. But instead of doing 2 videos, I am just going to have this be 1, because now these are very, very short because my first video cut off. So I will be back tomorrow and show you the finished putting this part together. Happy Saturday. It's all good. Hey you guys, just with Kotek time. I'm back. Sorry it took me so long. I have been promising the second part of this video was completed over the weekend, and I got way too busy. I spent my weekend building a 15 cup turner, which the YouTube video for that is going to be posted after this one. So I have to do a little bit of editing on that one. Took it in a lot of takes, cutting wood, the whole 9. So, as I mentioned in the previous video, I have my flag template and I have my flag that's pulling, and I did flip them. Now I'm going to line them up and use my X-Acto knife, and I'm going to cut away the items that I do not want to be on the cup, because I don't want anything to kind of be on the underlap. Okay. And then then I'm going to do the same, and I'm trying to keep my two images together just because when you cut with scissors, obviously, you could have just a little bit of differences. Get it lined up to the top of my paper. Again, I said I cut my flag, this one at 9.18. So that is the width of my particular cup. And all I'm doing right now is checking that I cut through. So we are good. And I'm just going to get rid of now the portion of the cup that is not going to be applied. Let me scooch you guys down a little bit more. And again, this guy is going to go on the bottom, so I'm going to leave him kind of alone for a minute. Keep my pieces together so you can see, should line up pretty close. Anytime I'm working with vinyl and a water slide, and I don't plan on doing them in 2 steps, meaning I'm not going to put my vinyl down, then go on ahead and put down epoxy and then do my water slide. I want to make sure to always put my vinyl down first, because if I get any transfer tape on the water slide, if I did it backwards, it's going to pull up and it's going to look, it's not going to look good. Just trust me. So in order to not pick any of this guy up, I'm just going to cut him off of both of my sheets. And we're going to try and do both of the templates and then both of the water slides. Because nothing in life can be easy. This is my first time trying the Oracle transfer tape. I've tried clear contact paper, Oracle transfer tape. This is a first. Usually it's Cricut. I've seen people use the lint roller pads. Where's my pokey? Just depends on personal preference when it comes to your design. I'm going to add one more light on in the room too. That's my big light. So I'm going to separate my transfer tape. I'm going to get it on my image. For the cup, Unicorn Spit has a layer of epoxy on it. My epoxy is not perfect, but I think it's fine. My favorite go-to phrase, you know, the bee's knees, I think it's fine. So this being a permanent vinyl, perhaps I should have used a different transfer tape. Trying to decide right now if I should pull the whole image or just do it in pieces. But with the way that this is like barely coming off on here, I think I'm going to pull the whole image. Okay. Don't need that. I do need this. And we'll see how we did. We shall see how we did. Looking good. So now when I do my water slide, I'm going to have it hit that line. And there's the back of my flag. I am going to go ahead and make sure I don't have any lumpity lumps in my vinyl. If you have any, now's the time to get them out. Here's a good example of like a little bubble. I'm just going to poke it and I'm going to work that bubble out. Again, if I would have put 2 layers of epoxy on here, probably would have been a little bit smoother. But life gets crazy, man. I don't know what to say. Okie dokie. Get the other cup off my brand new tenant. And I'm not going to lie, with this new turner, I am slightly terrified to run it. And then, of course, I'm going to be like babysitting all my cups. I feel like just making sure, first time use, you know. I don't want nothing falling. I'm taking a chance stacking them. But I only plan on using the top 2 rows when I'm on layers of epoxy and not glittering, so I have a plan. I know, sounds crazy. Okay. Pull this guy back. Get my crazy cup out of the way. I'm going to have to try this transfer tape on something that's not a permanent vinyl and see if I like it better. And then figure out which application I prefer it for. Okay. Got that image off. Next thing I'm going to have to build is one of those cute little cradles that hold. As per usual, I eyeball everything. Get everything nice and smooshed down. And we're going to pull it off. It does come off nice though. I'll give it that. And it doesn't leave a residue, which the contact paper has been doing for me. I'm not a huge fan of that. So I am a huge believer of using your transfer tape until you're about to pull your hair out, trying to figure out how to get the image off. So I use my transfer tape until it is absolutely not worth it anymore. Okay, do our little test. Guy goes all the way up. And we're good. So now, the next step is applying the water slide. I'm going to leave my one little poker tool out. As always, I use my fancy pantsy egg crate because you guys know I cannot make a hard-boiled egg to save my life. If you've watched my TikToks or other videos, I've made it very clear. Can't do it, but it makes the perfect size for this type of application. So I'm going to wet my cup. And I know that there's, you know, there's clear cast decal, there's all these other things. I am a huge fan of water slides. I probably always will be. I like that I can move them. So if you have a different method that you want to use or try and use, obviously go for it. And as per usual, I used plasti-dip. And then after I did my plasti-dip, I go back and forth with plasti-dip and triple thick. Are we all lined up? I feel like we're all lined up. Get my water out. And I will let this dry a little bit and come back and show you how I fade it into each other so that you can see that process. And I think on my last video I talked about how I did my water slide, so I hope so. Okay, so as of right now, this is just a straight line. If you want to leave it that way, you can. This is a white water slide, so you can see I probably should have trimmed just a little tighter right there. I know I'm going to be covering that with just a little bit of fading. Here, none of my vinyl is going to overlap in because I've already cut it, so we're good there. Again, I'm just going to let this dry a little bit and then come in and do my I can't speak. Do my fading in. Put this guy over here. We'll grab its friend. Clean up as we go. I try my really hardest to have a decently clean area. I'll pull out the supplies for each different cup that I'm working on. I try really hard. Some days it gets a little crazy, but I have found that if I clean up after each cup I'm working on, then I don't get confused about what I'm working on and everything just stays cleaner. So again, I'm just wetting this whole cup in the area that the water slide is going to go. And I'm going to scooch it up and down just to shave. Nothing too crazy. Make sure my bottom is lined up. Get my side even. Now my belly's going to growl because, you know, thinking to myself, did I eat today? I think I did. She's looking good. get the water out. Okay. All right, I'm going to let these dry, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to do the blending. All right, you guys, so the water slide is nice and dry, and now I'm just going to go through and I'm going to start adding my layers to blend. I'm using unicorn spit for this, which is what the base of the cup was. And I'm using the same 3 colors I used for the base of the cup, which is White Ninja, Midnight Blackness, and Weathered Daydream. I'm just going to be using a little sponge tool. And I'm going to start with my gray. And I'm just going to go along the whole edge. And all I'm doing right now is blending away. Now, if you like the way the blue flag line and the white is there, then obviously let it be. And I'm just going in with the different colors of white, black, gray. And adding a little bit of depth. And I just pull it back a little bit off of my part of my flag. And you can go out a little bit if you feel like you want to fade it. All personal preference when it comes to these. Unicorn spit will dry matte. Again, I'm going in with some white. If it's open, can't use it if it's not open. White, black, and gray. So again, if you like the way that light blue separates it, for sure leave it. 100% up to you. So this time I'm going to focus on the side and see how I like the way it looks not doing that side. Just going in with some black now. Now I got a little bit of white. And we're just going to keep going around. And we're just blending. Like I said, I think I'm going to try and leave it on this one. And we'll see how we think that ends up looking under a first coat of epoxy. If it's not something that I like, I can always go back after my first coat of epoxy and I can change it, right? Okay. All right. I think that looks pretty cool with the white there. So I think I'm going to leave it on this one. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like under epoxy. That is the basics of doing this cup. It's fairly simple. If you have questions, just let me know. Thanks you guys for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this little tutorial.